Wow.
Wow. I didn't know you were going to ask me a question.
What's happening, everyone? My name is Adrian and welcome back to What the Pun. Quite lucky today as we'll be going on a bit of a ride in a spicy little hot hatch. So without wasting any time at all, we're just gonna jump right in right now. Welcome. Now you all join me in the belly of the beast. And right here next to me in the driver's seat and the owner of this lovely car, we have Maad. Hi. Welcome to What the Pun.
Thank you, Adrian. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure and it's an honour that I am able to join you in this lovely little car. Would you care to share with us what is it that we are in right now?
Gladly. I'm very lucky. It's my brand new Hyundai i20N.
Ooh. Okay, so there you have it. This is the Hyundai i20N and facelift version?
Yes.
Facelift version, yes. So before we get into getting to know your story, why this car, how you went about picking this particular car out of all the other ones you had the options for, let's just run through quickly the specs of the car. So in front of us, I believe it's the 1.6 litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, and 201 brake horsepower, about 275 newton meters of torque. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
yes?
exactly, correct.
Perfect. And it's a 6-speed manual gearbox. I don't believe this actually had an option for a dual clutch automatic, did it?
No, only in manual.
Only in manual. I think the i30N, on the other hand, had the dual clutch transmission option.
Yeah, exactly.
And with this 6-speed manual, also comes with equipped with rev matching.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much like the manual version of a dual clutch transmission, right?
Yeah, so it allows you to kind of downshift, and the car will just automatically flip the throttle and match, so you don't have that kind of sluggish
Like
forward move
that kind of jerk.
as you down gear. Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. And also fitted as standard, not even an optional extra, with a limited slip diff.
Yeah.
Which in a car like this, it's gonna make a huge difference when you're putting the power down, right?
Exactly. You'll feel it.
And all this for a retail price of just over 25k.
Yeah. Surprising, but
yeah, surprising because
definitely impressive.
Looking around, like just quickly looking around, like with what the cars already comes with in terms of tech, gadgets, body kit, the performance and all the handling aids. For 25k, that's such good value.
Absolutely.
And in the similar sort of like performance or class, you'd be looking at cars like the Ford Fiesta ST3 and a Polo GTI. And I believe they're already the bog standard versions of those cars. They cost more than the i20N already, and that's without any optional extras that you have to add to have it spec'd out similar to your i20N, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So it just kind of has everything in one sort of package.
So, how long have you had the car, Maad?
What are we in now? I've had it a couple months now. Picked it up at the start of July this year. Yeah, just about a couple of months.
And looking at the mileage,
yeah,
just over 1,500. She's literally still a baby.
Yeah, still kind of picking up his feet, starting to walk a little bit. But yeah, no, exactly. The break-in period is all done. So now we can kind of ride it a little bit.
Whee!
But yeah, it's nice to kind of stretch his legs now.
Right. when you was like shopping around, what led you to the option of the i20N?
Actually, you mentioned a little bit briefly earlier as well. My wife and I, when we were looking for a car that had kind of a little bit more modern, a bit more up to date, and a bit more power. And then we were looking at Golfs and Polos, but then when we saw the Hyundai, actually Adrian's recommendation, we found that it had all the kind of optionals that you'd normally get from a VW or a Fiesta, kind of all included as in one package. And we kind of wanted something a bit more fun and a bit more different, that you don't really see these Hyundais on the road that much these days, so it's kind of nice to get something a little bit more unique.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, because in terms of like the aggressiveness that this comes packaged with, it's, you know, you got the spoiler, all the other bits on the compared to like a standard i20N or i20, sorry.
Yeah.
This looks so much more aggressive.
Right, exactly. It's a fun little hot hatch.
Personally, as all of you know, I'm a bit of a Volkswagen person myself, so my personal option would have been the Polo GTI, mainly because it's a Volkswagen. But honestly, I cannot deny that the i20N is really great value for money. As standard, it's like I mentioned already, it's very well equipped. I think the only optional extras for the car was like the roof and a Bose sound system, was it?
Yeah, literally just two options. We went with a different paint color. Oh yeah, sorry, three options then, I guess. The paint, the black roof, and the Bose sound system. And we ended up taking the paint, and we didn't do either black roof or sound system. Purely because the car that we came from was really old, so the standard sound system on this was good enough, and the wait time to get a black roof one manufactured and shipped.
There's such a huge problem everywhere with like car wait times at the moment.
Exactly. And this one was ready for us, so okay, we'll take that one.
Was there some differences with like, I think like European models being specced with different options?
Yeah, that was one thing we found, is that the European ones had some added features and things that didn't come to the UK market, which would have been nice to have. And I guess we can go into more detail on that a little bit later in the video.
Oh, definitely. So yeah, Maad, I reckon you've done pretty well here for the price you pay. This is decent. You've done really well.
Thank you.
But fun fact, Maad, did you know that the Hyundai i20N won the Top Gear Car of the Year and Performance Car of the Year for the year of 2021?
Actually, I did know. So I caught you out. When I was doing research on the car, I found out. And definitely, I mean, I've had, like I mentioned, I had a really old car before. It was a 2012, 2013 Peugeot, little 208 runaround. I've not driven a lot of different cars. I mainly ride bikes, but definitely you can feel that the amount of fun that you get from this car is no doubt going to be one of the top ones of the brand.
And so, like, would you definitely like agree this is something that you would consider to be like a car of the year? And how's the car been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's definitely a lot of fun. So me not having a huge amount of experience in different cars, I'd still feel like it's probably like one of the best cars of the year. So it's quite worthy of that title. And for me, yeah, it's definitely fun. I mean, we mentioned the slip differential earlier.
Oh yeah.
And you can definitely feel it where it just has that planted kind of front end grip on some country roads where you're kind of taking a bit of a sharper turn. And yeah, just the sound as well, the entire package and the performance you get from it from that amount of money, definitely very appealing.
Hi everyone, welcome back. So, don't know if you heard that just now, but the soundtrack in here was lovely. So maybe we'll try and capture some more of that now if we can. But yeah, what was I going to say? I almost lost my words. But yeah, car, the i20N, handles lovely. Alright, so don't know if you all heard that, but the soundtrack of the i20N is for this little 1.6 litre pops and bangs lovely soundtrack. I don't know if you can hear it, but if it's captured it and you can hear it, I mean, it's lovely. And if you've got a friend like Maad, if you know someone that's got an i20N, you got to sit in one to experience the soundtrack in here, and the handling of the car is lovely. It's a lovely little nippy 1.6 litre 201 brake horsepower car, hands down. For the price that you pay for this, just over 25k, good value for money, honestly. Oh, we're going again.
Told you it's fun.
And that, everyone, is the i20N. Before we wrap up, just some quick questions for you, Maad.
Yeah.
So, firstly, 3 things you like about your i20N.
3 things I like.
Yeah. What would you?
There's quite a lot of things I like. So 3 things. Okay. I mean, the things that stand out is, as you mentioned, just like the whole package. It has like all the safety stuff. You can drive it as a normal car, like in a very reasonable price, or you can just drag it about and have loads of fun with it, with all the driving modes and such like that as well. This might be a little bit like everyday sort of thing everybody has, but actually having CarPlay. So I don't use the inbuilt maps, although they're fairly decent. We did try it out. Just having CarPlay on there and being able to just use Apple Maps or Google Maps or Waze or whatever, it just makes things just ease of use is just a lot better. The other thing, so you've got to pick just 3, right?
Yeah. Well, you got more things.
Yeah, but loads of things I like. The soundtrack is really good, and the fact that it has a bit of oomph with that as well. Like, we've been playing around today a lot in N mode, but even if you just have it in normal, it sounds much better than a lot of cars out there just stock without having any adjustments done to it. Yeah,
and with the sound, it's also got like an internal cabin, sort of like synthetic, sort of like sound as well.
It has like a sound generator thing that sits just below the windscreen wipers, like inside the bonnet, which I think does play some sounds into the cabin just to make it just sound even more sporty. Which it doesn't get annoying actually. I know some people get mixed reviews on it, but I like it. It doesn't sound too synthetic or too fake. Actually, it just sounds like it's coming from the exhaust.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So, moving on.
Go ahead.
Probably guess what I want to say now. But 3 things you dislike the most about your i20N, and what? You dislike the most, and what would you change to make it even better?
Dislike. Again, they're going to be very nitpicky. Like the one, on the driver's side, there's a one-touch window, so you can just press it once, it opens all the way if I wanted to.
Yes.
Or I can do individual like pressing, but that's not on any of the other windows, not even the passenger side. Whereas my old car, being that it was older, still had that for at least the front 2 windows.
I think this is probably where they've like saved money.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where I was going to say, like, it would be nice to have that.
Yeah, because you mentioned like on the passenger seat, you can't adjust the height on the passenger seat. So I think these really tiny things. This is where they've cut like some corners just to save some money to do other bits.
I can kind of let that go because, like you said, it's quite nitpicky, and the fact that at least it's on the driver's side, which is fine. Like I'm driving the car, I care about that, right?
You have all the control.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing we mentioned as well earlier in the video around some parts or some functions being missed in the UK model. The European ones have blind spot indicators in the mirrors, and also if you're reversing out of a bay, it will tell you with the sensor if a car's coming along the side if you can't see it, which will be useful because if you go shopping and stuff, we always park in forward facing, so reversing out, that'll be handy. I guess to improve that, if they could do just add it as an extra optional item in the UK one. I'm sure a lot of people would still add it on, but I don't know if it's a cost thing or what, but it was cut from UK models.
Maybe it's just a shortage of components.
Maybe, not too sure. But that would be nice to have. I mean, I didn't have it before, but again, the price of the car is quite reasonable, so I don't really, it's not like a deal breaker for me. But yeah, just nice to have. What else?
So third and final thing you'd like to change, and if this Aston Martin would decide to choose a lane,
so sitting in the middle.
yes.
Third and final thing, I guess it's got a fairly small fuel tank for weight saving and things like that. It's a 40 litre capacity.
Okay.
I've been having a lot of fun with the car, but I feel like I'm filling it up quite often. But that could just be me.
It might just be because your foot's heavy.
Yeah, I mean, look,
your foot's a bit heavier now.
In the 1,500 miles I've done, our average MPG is 32.1.
32.1.
Well, that's with me not flooring it everywhere all the time.
Okay, all right.
And that's over that, and my wife also drives it.
I'm lucky I see 30 in my Golf R.
But being that it's only 40 litres, it goes quick, and I kind of have to fill it up quite often. But look, since this was full, it's about halfway now, and we've done, hold on, 100 miles, and it's just above half. It was a full tank. Quite recently I filled it up to top, so it can get 2 to 250 miles from the tank, which is reasonable, but when I'm commuting to work with it, it just feels like it goes a bit quick. But again, town driving, not long distance motorway very often, which I'm sure that if I did, that'll give me a bit more mileage.
But thank you very much, Maad.
You're welcome.
Honestly, thank you very much for your time. Watch the bottle.
Yeah, I know this place is full of loads. I guess that's the other thing. The suspension is quite stiff.
Yes.
It's again not a deal breaker, but you can definitely feel some bumps being.
Because you've got a performance car. I mean, that's kind of almost what you expect from someone like this, unless they have like a suspension that you can change modes on, comfort modes. But anyway,
And a lot of people, I think, will compare it with the i20N. That has adjustable. But I can adjust the steering in this. I can adjust the throttle mapping, the brakes with the custom modes. But I can't adjust the suspension, which the i20N can do. Again,
I mean, that's the
cost versus size of car and things like that.
Exactly.
Not a deal breaker, but just little things that I felt over the last couple of months. Like, it'll be nice to have.
Overall, lovely car, Maad.
Thank you very
did
much.
well. But thank you very much for your time, and hopefully we'll see you again on the channel at some point as well.
It'll be nice.
Be very nice. But thank you very much everyone for tuning in today. Do make sure to like and subscribe. And for now, that's all for this week. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so launch control.
It didn't limit it, so we're in N mode. Goes into first, and then he presses the throttle, and then it goes bing bing. There you go. Use the clutch to launch. Ready. Okay.
Hi. Launch control. I think that last one, Okay, so
it's not limiting the
launch control.
So, yeah, launch control, fun.
If I can figure out how to do it. Should I just try it?
Yeah, go on. So we might be in launch control, we might not be. Let's find out.
I already hit 60. I think that launched okay. I didn't feel any slippage or anything. But there's no way of me telling if it worked. Might just.
I think we did launch control.
I thought there'd be a bit more like.
Drama.
Yeah.
That felt more like it.
Yep. I didn't change gear too slow. I guess it worked.